It was a cold October night in Chicago, the kind where the air feels heavier after sunset. 19-year-old Maya stayed late at the university library, lost in textbooks and deadlines. By the time she packed her bag, the last bus had already left. She told herself it was only a 20-minute walk home. She had walked it before. At first, the streets were normal. Streetlights flickered, cars passed occasionally. The sound of her shoes echoed against the pavement. Then she heard it. Footsteps. Not far behind her. At first, she ignored it. Then they got faster, closer. Her heart began to race. She tightened her grip on her bag and quickened her pace. The footsteps matched her, and then a hand grabbed her arm. She screamed. Everything happened at once. A car screeched to a stop. A door slammed. A man ran toward them. There was shouting, a struggle. The grip on her arm loosened. Within seconds, her attacker ran into the darkness. The stranger turned toward her, breathing hard. He asked if she was okay. She nodded, shaken. His name was Daniel. He drove her home that night. He refused money, refused praise. He didn't ask for her number. He simply made sure she reached her door safely. And then he left. 2 weeks passed. Maya tried to move on, but she couldn't forget him. The stranger who appeared out of nowhere. The man who stepped in when no one else was there. Then one afternoon, she saw him again, at a small coffee shop near campus. Their eyes met in disbelief. This time, he didn't disappear. They talked. What started as gratitude turned into curiosity. Curiosity turned into comfort. Comfort slowly turned into something deeper. Daniel was quiet but observant, protective but never controlling. He walked her home every evening after that, memorized her class schedule, checked the streets before they crossed. He made her feel safe. After what happened, safety felt like love. And maybe it was. Months passed. He met her parents, he laughed with her friends, he brought her soup when she was sick. He never raised his voice, never pushed boundaries. It felt perfect. Almost too perfect. Sometimes she would ask about his past. He always gave gentle, vague answers. He said he worked in security. He said he moved around often. He never stayed in one place too long. She didn't press, because when someone saves your life, you don't question too much. Then, one day, he didn't show up. No call, no message. His phone went straight to voicemail. She told herself he was busy. Then she told herself something was wrong. 3 days later, there was a knock at her door. 2 officers stood outside. That's when she learned the truth. Daniel wasn't just a man who happened to be nearby that night. He had been watching. He was part of an undercover investigation tracking a trafficking ring operating near the university. The man who attacked her had been connected to that ring. The night he saved her wasn't a coincidence. He was already there, already working. What wasn't part of the plan was falling in love. As the investigation intensified, Daniel had been reassigned for his safety and for hers. He wasn't allowed to contact her, not to explain, not to say goodbye, but he left something behind, a letter. In it, he wrote that protecting her had never been part of the operation, but loving her had become real. He wrote that walking away was the hardest thing he had ever done, and that if he stayed, she would become a target. So he chose distance over danger. He chose her safety over his happiness. Months passed. The streets felt colder without him. He finished her semester, she graduated, she moved forward. But every October, when the air turned sharp and the nights grew quiet, she remembered the sound of footsteps behind her and the sound of tires screeching to a stop. Some people enter your life like storms, others enter like guardians, and sometimes the one who saves you isn't meant to stay forever. Sometimes they are only meant to change you, to remind you that even in your darkest moment, someone was watching, and someone chose you.